listening to Xposed Living, Be Ageless, the podcast where we drop the masks, flip the script, and talk real life, real love, and real leadership unfiltered. I'm Stacey Van Thune, coach, speaker, entrepreneur, and founder of the Xposed Living movement that's redefining what it means to live, lead, and grow at any age. We talk identity, reinvention, belief, and freedom from the bedroom to the boardroom. Yes, we go there. This is not about staying young. This is about waking up. So if you're done with the shoulds and craving more fun, more freedom, more truth, more you, then grab your favorite drink, your bestie, maybe your journal. It's time. Let's get exposed.
Like, it is just an experience. We will surrender right now to it.
We are.
All righty. Let's rock and roll. This week on Xposed Living, Be Ageless, I'm sitting down with a woman who truly lives the message of reinvention. Not because she's figured it all out, but because she said yes to more, even after life has thrown her many curveballs. Andrea Della Mura is a 2-time breast cancer survivor, a devoted mom, and now the founder of the DRIPBaR Rye, a wellness space that's so much more than IV therapy. It's the result of saying yes to a possibility, even when logic says no. You know, this is building up, my friends. We met at Rise and Record event a few years back and instantly connected. At the time, Andrea was still dreaming about her business, and today she's living it. And I've even had the fortunate opportunity to go and see her in Rye and have my own first drip. But this episode is more than just her business. It's about what it took to bet on herself, to reinvent at midlife, and to go all in with her savings, her story, and her soul. So get ready. This conversation's not just about vitamins and drips, as I meant, but it's about courage, clarity, and choosing your own damn path. So welcome, Andrea.
Thank you for having me. And thank you, because I think a lot of people want to talk about IV vitamin therapy, but how I actually got here too. I tell my story a lot, and my staff here at the DRIPBaR, I'm always like, listen, when I hire you, you're going to hear my story over and over and over again. You're going to hear it in your sleep. I'm going to apologize now, but I think it truly has impact each and every one of my clients when they first hear it, because I think that everyone has a story, right? And so when I opened my business, first of all, I had no idea as to the levels that it was going to affect my personal life. And it's so incestuous. It really is. I'm so blessed. I'm so fortunate. I get to work with my oldest son, who's 24 years old, who's an absolute rock star. I get to work in my own community that supported me through my second cancer. I am grateful. Every morning I wake up, and some mornings are harder than others. And I literally will lay there and I'll just say, I am so grateful to have this opportunity to do this, because what I do, honestly, every day is a privilege. And so that is not lost on me, that I can tell you. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. What a way to open. And really is that shift in I get to versus I have to.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Let's get even more exposed, Andrea. I want to ask you a question that if you could go back to the version of yourself before your first diagnosis, what would you whisper in her ear?
Ooh. Well, my first diagnosis, I was 24 years old, and I'm rocking 56, going on 57. So let me tell you, that young girl is actually the age of what my older son is now. And I think he's way smarter than I ever was at 24. But I would whisper to her, like, buckle up, buckle the hell up, because you have no idea as to the experiences that you are about to have over the next 30 years, where it's going to launch you, and that there is purpose, that you have no idea how you're going to impact others' lives, but it's a journey to get there. So buckle up and hold on tight, because there is definitely a purpose for you in your life. And that's what I would whisper to her. And I probably would have whispered back, what? What? 30 years? I have to wait 30 years? Wait. Yes.
You know, when you said that, it reminds me of, I used to always remember this quote that said, you know, God would never give you more than you can handle.
I've heard that so many times. And then I'm just like, really? Like,
That is
really?
me. I was like, really? I'm not strong? Like,
Exactly. Can we slow
okay.
down a little? Exactly. Hold on. Maybe tomorrow. I get it. No, I get it. Yeah.
Well, walking through this. So, 24 diagnosed with
Yeah.
cancer. You overcame it. And
Yeah.
then you got a second diagnosis?
Yeah. Interesting enough, my first cancer being 24, it was a solid mass, chemo, radiation, surgeries. I went back home to live with my parents at that point. So much was stripped from me in that moment of that, young girl, great job, loving life, to everything stripped away. The fight to come back, was, I'm not going to lie, it was definitely a rough one. At the age of 39, and of course there's a lot in between, I was diagnosed with a different kind of breast cancer. So everybody was like, oh, so it was a recurrence. It really wasn't. It was a separate type of breast cancer. Who knew, right? It was a different challenge because at this point I had 2 kids and I did not need chemotherapy because it was contained. So I did a double mastectomy. I had the surgery. I was so excited because I wasn't going to have to lose my hair again. I wasn't going to have to go down that path because now I got these 2 little faces looking at me like, what's going on? They were just excited that we were getting dinner delivered every night by friends that were supporting me. And when dinner stopped about 4 months in, they were like, where's the chocolate cake? So Mom is cooking again. What's happening? So, I was very blessed to have the support that I did, along the way. So really 2 different challenges, the same awful monster peeking its head out. And I've learned a lot since then as well.
Did you really, is that when kind of afterwards ignite this purpose around health? And like, because
Oh,
you've always had health as kind of a pillar in your
yeah.
own life.
Yeah. I have a younger son too, who's now 21, and he got sick at the age of 10. And so I had to really advocate for him and really take care of him and find out what was going on, with him. And it's still a challenge. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that not only did I deal with my own health, but also, I was on the other side of it advocating for someone who was unwell in different ways where people didn't understand about what was happening. And so life was on hold for a really long time. But I think going back to what we were just talking about, like whispering in that 24-year-old's ear, boy, she had no idea what was coming her way. And so I feel as though all of these challenges and experiences and lessons that I've learned along the way have set me up for this phase of my life now, where I'm just like, guess what? I just turned my head around, right? And I'm like, here we go. So now I'm at the point of my life where now I'm like, buckle up, buttercup, because this is a whole different journey, challenge, experience, lesson, and it honestly has been, I'm not kidding. It has been one of the best experiences of my entire existence because I feel like now I have that background, and I'm not medical, but boy, I know some stuff. And I'm here supporting people in ways that I didn't have. And so I'm very raw about that. And, when someone asks me my opinion, they ask me a question, I'm going to give it to you, because in my life, there's no time to waste, and especially if you are unwell, and the way that our medical system is today and the way that it supports people, it can do better. And so I can't do much. I always felt this. I can't do much at a level like a federal level, state level even, but I can help those on a community level. And that's where I dig in. And so my grassroots marketing, my big mouth, telling people from the rooftops, like, you got to fight. I don't, when someone tells you something, it's like, all right, do your research. I didn't think this way. I trusted in everyone that was sort of around me and telling me what I should do, how I should be, how I should think. Now I feel, and again, at my age, right? And I feel like I got a whole nother lifetime to live. But at my age now, I take that experience that I have, and that's the blessing, because I look back and I always think, wow, I wish I had more time to do what is ahead of me now. Because I just feel like there's so much for me to do and accomplish and drive. I wish I had 10 more years behind me. And then I look back 10 years ago and I'm like, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. So I do believe divine timing. I do believe that it is not on our timeline. It is definitely on a divine timeline. And you need to go down these rabbit holes and these paths that maybe you wouldn't have chosen, because I know that I wouldn't have chosen this, but I had to do it in order to get where I am. And I think the kicker is, Stacey, honestly, okay.
Tell me, no, just my one thing. Hold on.
I'm holding.
We good? Sorry.
We're good.
Little power shortage there.
Here we go. We're back.
Don't stop.
Don't stop. The one thing that I can tell you is that, like, I feel as though, I checked a lot of these boxes off. There's so many boxes ahead of me to check off because there's so many more experiences. I haven't met everybody that's coming to my life yet. Like, it's all coming. And the one thing I know you and I have talked about it in the past is, it's about surrender, and it's not about that giving up surrender. It's more about that surrender where I don't know it all. And what is happening is not happening to me. It is happening for me. Now, again, in the moment, you're like, what the heck? Like, this is, but there's a different way, I think, especially Gen X, the way that we think of things, that we've been through a whole lot. We've seen this world change in ways that I don't know if any other generation will actually see it. And, I think that there is also a blessing, right? Because we've lived without cell phones, we've also lived without email. My God, can you imagine? I mean, going back, right? The communication, we had the people in our town, we had the people now. It's like, we get to talk, you and I get to meet, people around the world, we get to touch others like that. And so I have big dreams. I do. I mean, I always think there's so much more coming that even my monkey brain cannot in any which way, shape, or form even see the vision as to what is coming for me. And I'm working hard. I work 7 days a week. I work 12-hour days. And, I'm not going to lie, it is a stretch. And I know that there's a lot of my life that is unbalanced right now. And I get that. And I think that it is really hard to use that word balance, because I just don't think there's ever a time when you can have a really good balance. I think that there's too many wheels going on.
I agree. I think that is honestly a misconception of Gen X, is that it was almost like 25% here, 25% here, 25% here, and 25% here. And the reality of it is like, when you're doing what you love to do, which obviously you are, then so it is for you. And I think that's where we get exposed and be able to say, like, it's my journey.
Yeah.
And so,
but did you ever know though? I mean, that's the thing. When we were like, I never thought about that. Like in my 30s, I was so limited. I don't know. And I don't even know why. I think just being very traditional, I never thought about like the purpose. And I go back to that word too, the purpose as to why, I was a mom. I am a mom, I had my roles. And again, I think that each part of our life, there is that role that we are playing, and it shapes us. And I am not the same person. I don't know about you, but I know I've been many different Andreas along the way. And I like this version a lot for many reasons. And it's the experience. It's the boundaries, I'm the first one. I'm in the back asking a question going, I don't get it. I don't have to know everything. And if I don't know, I'm going to go find out. I am at that point. I put ego aside and I just want to know. And I feel like, my heart is as big as it ever has been. And when I see people going down a path, I don't believe that they should have to recreate a wheel that possibly has been created already for them, but they just don't know the resources. So I always tell people when they come to see me, it's like, I'm going to give you every resource I have. All right. So you don't have to reinvent that wheel. And that is a promise that as a business owner, as a woman-owned business, as a mom, as a friend, that is something that I want to do for folks.
I love it. It's a high standard, and it's why you've been so successful around this. And, I want to dig in. You gave me a lot to ask in there. And when we were talking about, I love when you said there's no time to waste. I think that this is this illusion that a lot of us have, is that, I'll wait till tomorrow, or I'll wait till this. I'll wait till my kids are out of the house. I'll wait till I get X amount of money. You know, I was reading this book and it was like, we were told how to get these check marks, but we were never told how do you
Yeah.
experience more happiness. And when you hear somebody talking, a lot of times it's like, well, how do I get a better relationship with so and so? How do I experience less stress in my life? How do I, all these things? And it's really people searching for happiness. And I think that,
Yes.
you know, so as
Peace
a
and
Gen X,
happiness.
we were taught more to value the outside and the
Yes.
things.
Yep.
And
I agree.
as you said, as you kind of evolved in your own experience and understanding and the challenges, you start to
Yeah.
realize like, no, it's a feeling. It's a
Yeah.
feeling that I'm chasing. It is the feeling of my own greatness and making an impact in this world. And I think it's okay for us at times not to know that, like exactly what it is, but to continue to take the risks, which you
Yes.
did, to start to help uncover what is that. And then
Big
when you get
risks.
aligned with it, as you've shown, it's like a freaking rocket ship.
Yeah. You don't know until you know. Taking those risks, like you said, and is the scariest thing, and there's a saying, and I remember seeing it and I was like, yes, that is it. And it was about like, the scarier you are to do it, you should do it right away. It's like, take that leap. But again, I think that there comes experience. And the one other thing that I learned too is that, and I think you touched upon it too, it's like we're all sort of looking for the same thing. We want to feel happiness. We want to feel joy, peace, calm. There's, everyone, I guess, has their, they want excitement, they want new, but they want traditional and comfort as well. So it is that sort of like gooey ball. For me, though, it's about when I learned that my true self, my true joy doesn't come from anything around me. It comes from within me. I have everything I need within me. There is no doubt about that. I have that. I know I do. But I also know that I have to be able to fill my cup before I can pour it into others. And again, some days are harder than others. I'm going to tell you the truth there for sure. And that is for me, and I hold myself accountable for that, between my doctor's appointments, where, what it is that I'm doing for myself, adding those workouts in, no matter what it is. It's like, stop making excuses. And that's the thing too, is that people are stuck on, well, look what you made me do. Or, it's when my kids go to school, I'll start my workouts then. Or yes, definitely. I've done that too, but it's about like, but when is it today? Is it tomorrow? Is it the next day? And that can, like I said, that could be way out there, but people also make excuses. They're not going to do anything until they are darn good and ready to do it, because you can bring that camel to water, but you cannot make it drink. And I think that once I've learned that in my life, and here, even at work, even at the DRIPBaR, I can offer people the resources. I can get them right to that line to figure out what is really going on with their health and to make them feel better. And they don't go over. They kind of teeter there because it's frightening. It's frightening to make changes. And then what if I start feeling better? Never mind the people that are still living through their kids, right? And that was another thing too. I had a lot of friends too, to be like, what do they like to do? Who are they? They don't know who they are. I was sort of one of those, because you were sort of, you were living through your kids, the next practice, the next game, the next, whatever it may be. People our age now struggle with identity as to who they are. I never knew that was going to happen. But when it hit me, and it was probably right before COVID, I really made peace, with God. And I was like, wow, like something is wrong in my life. Something is missing in like I wasn't satisfied, and I didn't know why. Like I had pretty much everything I needed. I really did. I mean, who am I to complain about anything? And I think that's what it was too, to be like, oh, you haven't done too bad, but there was something that was just missing in my day.
I so agree with you. Like I've always felt that same way, is that I was almost taught that when you have it better than most, quote, quote,
Right.
who are you then
Absolutely.
to ask for more?
Right.
Right. And it's almost like, we're waiting for others to catch up, or because I want more means I'm selfish. And that was like a huge turning point, I think, for a lot of people that have gone on kind of this reinvention. And it's like, I think for some people it's just like navigating. It's not that we have to totally drop our old self, like you said, but it's like, it's okay to have different versions of you. It's okay to try different careers. It's okay to have different friend groups. And you don't have to always say have a breakdown, have a breakthrough, or have a messy relationship with a friend to know that it's not challenging you in the same way. And maybe you need to evolve, because we're here to, I always say we're spiritual beings. The essence of us is for further expansion and growth. When we're not being continually challenged, then we do start to like fall trap to the excuses, fall trap to the comfort, right?
Absolutely. And what we're told, and along the way too, Stacey, I have shed people, places, and things. There's no doubt about it. And sometimes I didn't even know why. I didn't know why, but now I know. I listen to my energy. I listen to the vibes. I feel it. I feel even the people that come in, I kind of know, like I'm really good at reading the room, but I'm really good at feeling people's energy, from the minute that they step in. And so, but I've also been told too, that people could literally feel my energy before I've even entered the room. And I'm like, wow, and so I'm very cautious about that too, but I'm also very much about, I'm going to be me. Like I'm going to be me, and I'm not going to be apologetic for it. I am not for everybody. I've had someone tell me, wow, you can suck the air out of a room. And I'm thinking, maybe you're just in the wrong room. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not stepping back. I think I played it small, like a lot of other people did, because of that self-confidence, because of I don't have that education, or, especially in the community that I'm in, everybody went to, they're very, elite private schools, and I didn't have that. I was a very average person, and the funny thing is that I look around at the same people that I had this conversation with, and they're not doing anything. And it's like, well, I am following my purpose. I'm following that. And I think that I'm not here to judge anyone, just by the way, when I said that, like, I'm really not. I've always felt very minor to others. And I'm still working on that, because I think we talked about this too, is like, when you think you're healed, you're really not, I speak with clients here, even at the DRIPBaR, about, their cancer diagnosis, and again, it's not lost on me that I got 2 chances at this. And when I have people come to me and say they want to put me into hospice, I'm just like, well, that's not going to happen today, because we have other things that we can try. If you're still breathing, I am breathing with you. I'm going on this journey with you, and it's like, I give everything. At the end of the day, I literally will drive even home with my son, and sometimes there's not a word spoken, because there's nothing left to say. And I need to recharge. I need to close my eyes. I need to feed my soul, and I need to wake up the next day to fight again.
It's really inspiring, Andrea. It's like the whole purpose behind Xposed Living in this community is to share with people, like, when you do lock in, it be even these long hours, like, they become fun and playful. I think most people want emotional freedom, and emotional freedom that would give you then financial freedom. And sometimes
I agree.
try to get the reverse, right? And it just doesn't work. Emotional is key. And I look at so many people that are in high beta, high stress, high everything all day long, getting their cortisol hits, and like not even feeling like themselves until they read a shitty thing in the newspaper, or hear something, or see something in Facebook, or can get upset in traffic or whatever, and then saying again, I'm victim to these circumstances. Why I want to bring that up though is because I want to ask you a question around this, and get your thinking of it. Is like, I think that we live in a world of instant gratification. And people want the, back to like the medical part of this stuff, is that they want these instant fixes. And, I live in Canada. I really think that this is a challenge, even that we have free healthcare. So it's so easy to go to the doctor, and it's so easy to get something that would,
I'm here.
You're good. That would like kind of cure a symptom, but never get to the root cause. And so I want to ask you about that, and what you see, and how even, Like if someone's listening to this and they say, oh my gosh, that's me. I feel like I'm always on high. How can I, or what are some of the things that I can learn from Andrea that today I can incorporate into my life to feel more at peace, to ultimately start taking the steps to uncover my purpose? Because purpose isn't found by force. It finds you, right?
It
Like
does. I
it finds
agree.
you.
I
And
agree.
so share with me some of the things that somebody at home could do today to help living, a more ageless life. Let's say it that way.
Yeah. So for me, the first thing that I think about is, when I think even 10 years ago, like I never would have thought that I'd be doing what I'm doing now, that I'd be sitting in my office here, at the Drip Bar, and I designed this place, and I'm like, wow, I don't think I would change a thing. There's so many things that have fallen into place. And again, it's because I finally, I it was through a little bit of a breakdown. I'm not going to lie, because it was a point
Yeah.
in my life where it was like, okay, like I knew I felt this heaviness, like I just was not happy. I wasn't being fulfilled, but it wasn't anybody's fault. That's the thing. It's like you look around and go, who can I blame for this? Or there wasn't. Once you become aligned, and I think what you said too, it kind of finds you. The whole point is to surrender to what it is that you're feeling. Now everyone at home is looking to say, well, financially I need this type of job, and so there's other ways I think that what we can do. And it's about listening. Whether you're in the shower and you're just like, okay, what's the first thing that comes to your head? It's little steps that we make. It's just those little things that we make, little changes that we make. And that's where it starts. There's no way that anyone even listening to this, if they're just like, well, I'm working on the purpose, I don't know, I'm seeing if it fits. Yeah, try everything in a sense that comes to you. Be open to things. But there's no way that you can see the end of the forest. You cannot see it. I don't care who you are. You're not going to see through the end of the forest. But what you can see is the first step. That is something you can see as the first step. And that's all that you need to do is the first step. See where it leads you. It's the first step. And there is something that is been building in you. And you're just like, I know it's there. It just doesn't have a face yet. I don't know. I still don't know. I think I know, but I don't know, because I think it's so big that I can't know what it is yet. But I know that there's so much possibility, and it's about being open to everything that feels good. Listen to your body. Your body's going to tell you. Whether you're sitting next to someone, your body's going to do one of these because it doesn't like that energy. Or whether, there's something that you need to do. Maybe you need to do it for your career, and you're not really liking it. Yeah, put your head down, plow through it, and get to the other side, right? There's things that we choose in our life. It's not always easy. And I still have that imposter syndrome. Like, who the heck am I to do this? This is like, who the heck am I to talk to these people like this, to be like, hey, this is what we're going to start. This is how we're going to do it. And this is your path. You came here for a reason. You found me. And if you found me, it's like, then I'm going to tell you straight out, that this is the way that it is. But I'm very comfortable today in how I do it. I don't have it perfect, and I still live on cortisol, by the way, too. There are days I'm still working on that. It is never going to be perfect. If you're waiting for the perfect time, then you're just going to keep waiting. So it's about, and someone said this to me the other day too, and they were like, when you have an idea, people, they talk about it, right? And that's okay. But start acting on that idea, because the longer you wait, guess what? Someone's already done it 3 times. They've made 4 mistakes, and they've changed it 5 times, and now they're ready to roll with it. But you're still thinking about it, and the lost opportunity is there. Unfortunately, it's when opportunity knocks, sometimes it doesn't knock again. So why not take that first step and see how it feels?
Why not? And okay,
Why not?
so we're gonna obviously have another conversation soon, but I have my 5 ages 5 questions to ask you. But before I do, I have one question. Actually, maybe I'm gonna add this as a 6A. As a woman in their 40s or 50s, whatever age, honestly, what is one vitamin or something that maybe we should all be having and we're not?
Easy. Easy. I am the vitamin D queen. Anyone that has ever come to see me, vitamin D is so inexpensive. Vitamin D is so crucial for your well-being. And I'm going to tell you why. It is not, that, oh, I'm getting, my vitamin D. And it's why? Why do you need your vitamin D? First of all, vitamin D helps with brain clarity. It helps with mental health. Every cell in your body has a receptor for it. That's how important it is. So vitamin D is essential. I would definitely get tested by your doctor, know your levels, all right? Anyone who is a non-cancer survivor should be in the 50s or the 60s in the range, okay? Forget what they're telling you about the range. Listen to me, 50s or 60s. If you are a cancer survivor, you want to be the 70s and 80s. That's where you want to be. Every organ in your body will thank you for it. It fights off disease and virus as well. And if you're going to go that far to get the vitamin D, I want you to take a magnesium with it. Magnesium, especially glycinate at nighttime, that is actually going to be able to bring your nervous system down to be able to sleep, because I know a lot of women have trouble with sleeping. And it also helps to activate vitamin D. So those are my top two. I don't care who you are.
And do they help with like the perimenopause types of feelings and the sweat?
Because the first thing when you go to your doctor, especially here in the United States, is they're like, oh, honey, that's just a part of life. No, it's not. It is not. You do not have to suffer through that anymore. Find the right doctors. Do your research. Estrogen matters. All of this. I don't care if you're a breast cancer survivor or not. Do your research. Do not listen. The doctors that are out there today, as far as I'm concerned, there are great doctors out there today, but they're still practicing medicine. We're learning new things all the time. Stay up to date with that. Find yourself a functional doctor who actually understands how crucial this is to your well-being. I can't help the women that were behind me and did this already, but I'm sure as hell going to stand in front of the women that are waiting to become my age and go through this. And they need to know the truth so that they can make good decisions for their own well-being going forward as they age gracefully.
Let's go.
Go.
I love that. I love it. All right. Here's my other 5 for you.
Let's
Andrea,
go.
what's a belief you're done with?
Oh, I've been done with why me? I'm like, why the hell not me? In a good way and bad way. Why the hell not me?
Oh my
Absolutely.
Gosh. So good. What is a book or a quote that changed your life or that you really resonate with?
Oh God. Okay. Well, I think we touched upon that too, is that that life is happening for me, not to me. Yeah. Open your eyes, listen.
What is one habit you swear by?
Being grateful. Waking up and being grateful. That is a habit of mine now. No matter what, I'm waking up and I am so incredibly grateful. Having that first thing in the morning, I am grateful.
Oh, so good. That is solid practice. What's one thing you're still learning to love about yourself?
Oh, probably that I matter. I actually do. Yeah.
And my last one, Andrea, what does Xposed Living, being ageless, mean to you in this season of your life?
Oh, purpose, freedom, change, positivity, good vibes, paying it forward. Yeah. All that.
So great. So great.
I have a question for you, Miss Stacy. I have a question for you. Because I was asked this question too, and I really had a hard time answering it. And I'd like to know if you have an answer for this.
Okay.
So do you believe that you can have it all at the same time?
Yeah. It's such a great question. I think that we've been trained to have an either or. And one of my philosophies is we have the and. So do I believe we can? Yes. And I believe that it's not about wanting, it's not about everything, but what is most important to you at that time. And if it's placed on your heart, it's placed on your heart for a reason. And that we just have to get rid of them, those limiting doubts. It sounds so easy. I get it. But it is really it's not fear that's the enemy. It's the doubt and the worry. And, when we attach it to saying that, no, it can't happen, then if thoughts become things and you're thinking and doubting and worry, well, then it won't happen. So a philosophy I really do have is, let's play the and game in life.
Yeah.
We can do this and this. And it's a matter of decisions and priority. We can't manage our time, but we can manage our priorities. So what are you doing in our lives that's not adding value?
Yeah.
And get it out.
Agreed. And what do they say? That I work with a lot of nurses, and they'll say, like, end of life for folks, the one regret that they had is that they wish they didn't worry as much as they did. They wish they lived more than just existing. And so I think if we were to end this podcast in one way, is that do not live in fear. Okay. Don't just exist. Live your life. Live. There is a big difference between existing and living, and take those steps one step at a time. And you know what? Lean on a friend, lean into it, lean into a family member, lean into it. Those folks that you have in your life that you can do that too. And the folks you can't, and that's okay too. But you matter. Your existence matters, and right. I don't have to come back and redo this. I want to elevate at some point.
Expand,
I want to elevate,
express,
exactly,
expose, and embrace the suck. Because the reality of it is, I think this is important that we get through for what you did with the whole, risking and reinvention, is that you knew you didn't always have the answer, but you're willing to find the way. And when we have that belief in ourselves that I may not know how, but I know I can. Yeah. And that the right people, the right places, the right things will be brought to me at a time when I'm ready. Like you said, it wasn't 10 years you weren't ready.
No.
And we got to stop living our life in the past and thinking about that.
Yes.
Or stopping ourselves versus off our results. Because our results are just a lag of yesterday's thinking.
That's it.
So get that the frick out of the way. As Andrea's demonstrated, have a dream, take the action, embrace the suck, and keep working. Flex, get your vitamin D, get your magnesium.
Yes.
Fucking go. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm allowed to swear. It's my show.
I love it. Listen, and just embrace yourself, because no one else is going to do it, right? No one else is going to do it. You got to do it.
Live from
period.
Overflow. And I think, this is where we could talk forever. Ladies, men too. If you're out there and you're bleeding from an empty cup, you are the only problem you have and the only solution to it. So fill it up. And Andrea, if and when people want to get a hold of you and come see the Drip Bar and learn more about your story, how do they get in touch with you?
So I'm Andrea Della Mura. I'm the owner of the DRIPBaR here in Rye, New York. And you can reach out to our store. We're at 20 Purchase Street, and my doors are open 7 days a week. And yes, I'm here 7 days a week. So anytime, reach out. Love to have a conversation.
Beautiful. Thank you. Xposed Living is for every Gen Xers who knows there's more. You absolutely knew there were more, Andrea. It was a perfect guest to have.
And still coming.
You're ready to feel more, to do more, become more. Get exposed, and we'll see you next time.
Do it. Mwah.
That's it for today's episode of Xposed Living, Be Ageless. But this is just the beginning. If this episode made you feel something, share it. Tag me. Send it to a friend. Let's start the conversation we can be having all along. No shame, no guilt. Unfiltered, raw, real, exposed. And if you're ready to go deeper, join us inside the Xposed Living Facebook community, where we take this work off the podcast and into real life. Know this, your change starts when your excuses die. Because this life, this one wild, ageless, unforgettable life is waiting on you. This is your time. This is your truth. This is Xposed Living.